project was first, it was conceived by Jack Hurd and myself, and the idea was to record music that is out there that has not been recorded before. Big band music.
We were having lunch one day and we decided, why don't we put a little project together? And you know, we both contributed with talents and everything else to put it together, and we're using his arrangements and my arrangements. So it's the best of Bill's and the best of Jack's, and we put it together and we're creating some CDs. So that's how it initially started, was over lunch, and I said, I've got this idea, and I said a few things, and then Bill said a few things, and next thing you know, we found out we were on the same page.
So Jack has a collection that he's put together over the years, and of course I write a lot of music, and I mean I arrange a lot of music, so it was an opportunity to record not only things that he had, but things that I have. And we had the option of going to a major city like Orlando or Atlanta or Miami and hiring local players in those places. I said, no, let's do it here. And we agreed on that. Let's use the local players because nobody knows about them.
Years ago, it was very unfortunate, but in Jacksonville, they would almost, if you had a big event, it was almost an insult, but you had to go out of town to get musicians to come in a lot of cases. And that's not the case. We have so much talent here now. But we especially have good big band musicians and jazz musicians here.
The drummer, Clyde Connor, my goodness, he was the drummer with the Navy Commodores. A bass player, Dennis Marks, is the bass player for Arturo Sandoval. Can't argue the talent level here.
What we want to do with the CDs is particularly show that there are fantastic musicians in the Northeast Florida area and in the Jacksonville area. We're very proud of that, but no one gets to really hear them. So now they're going to hear them and their talents. Well, most of the big band CDs out there are CDs of the great bands. But the problem is they are tunes that have been done over and over and recreated and replayed over and over. And what we wanted to do was tunes that were not big hits, that were very good and sort of like lost, forgotten hits. And in our libraries, we both had a lot of tunes that have never been played for the public. And we hope that the younger generation would take an interest.
One of the guys in the band, I think he's 20 years old, you know, that's going to stay with him. Those musical memories. And he's a hot player. He's on his way to New York. He's going to be up there. And this will influence him, I'm sure.
I don't think, as a lot of people will tell you, I don't think it's going to come back at all like it was. Nothing ever does. But it should have a place in the area of good music. Bill is a fantastic arranger. He's played with almost every dance band around in that era. He was born in a musical family. He was from Detroit, Michigan. His father had a band and was also an arranger. We played together on the band. Bill has played for several years, and that's how we got to know each other.
When I first came to Jacksonville, which was way back in 1987, I heard about Jack Hurd and his bands, and he was playing a gig at Regency Mall, which was brand new at that time. And so I went over and I heard the band. Jack was a very active band leader and had things going on in this area. Then eventually I got to play with him as a sideman, you know, did a number of gigs. He's a great guy, everybody knows that. The musicians love him. And now, in a sense, he's paying back, you might say, by, with this opportunity for all these great musicians to play and just to store some music that everybody should have access to. When we started putting this together, I said, there's only one piano player. You know, who's going to work in this environment? And so we got Bob to come on down, and he played with the Les Brown Band. And he's played with God, everybody. So he was perfect for this thing.
Bob Alberti is also a part of putting all this together, and his contributions. He's quite well known. He started off playing with the Charlie Spivak Band in the early 50s, and Bob later on was with Mitchell Ayers, and he went into studio directing. He was the director of a lot of things. He was on the Tonight Show band for many years. Bob is also was the pianist for Bob Hope for many years. He's just a very, very interesting gentleman, and very talented, and we're just so, Bill and I both are just so proud to have not only his friendship, but to also have his talents, and he is just one of the finest pianists that's around.
Well, I don't know if this project really is any different than any other studio call that I have done. It's a matter of coming in, sitting down, opening a book, looking at music and sight reading it, and having to decide instantly whether it deserves this kind of a background or that kind of a background, and be ready to play whatever has to be played. It was all part of being in the studios, where in the course of a day I would be on a variety show back in the 1960s, 1970s, and we could have anything. We could have an opera singer come in, throw a part in front of me, and I had to play it. We would have one of the Motown groups, Diana Ross and the Supremes, come in, and I had to know that style so I could sit down and do that. And then we'd have a circus act with the Elephants, and they would come in, and you'd have to be looking at European music, which is different than our music because they use what they call movable do. Everything is in solfeggio. It won't give you a note. It'll say do, re, mi, 7, do minor 7, re 7, C, whatever it might be. So that you have to translate that. And so you just, over many years, you have to be ready to play whatever is thrown at you. Right now, people don't know this, and most of them really don't care. I was talking to Bill Prince earlier, and what I was saying is people today don't listen to music, they listen to lyrics. If you get somebody 30 years old and they're sitting in a restaurant and I sit down and I play My Funny Valentine, they don't know it's a Valentine song because I'm not singing it. And if you think in terms of those parameters, music itself is not appreciated because it's not being sung. And all those great masters of Cole Porter and George Gershwin, Harold Arlen, Richard Rodgers, over the 50 years, the best 50 years of music, most of them are not known by today's generation. And the generation that appreciates it is either long gone or on the way out, or they can't drive at night to come out and hear what I'm playing. So that's the other problem. And I just figured, I've had a good run in this business, and it's time to say, let the new guys take over and do what they're doing.
It's been fun to do the project that we're doing. Couldn't think of a name and came up with the name Happy Session. And that's what they are. They're sessions, recording sessions, and they're happy. And as long as they continue that, why not enjoy it as long as we can? We would also like to sell them, and the profits would go to a charity, and we've selected the Shriners Hospitals for Children. And as you know, that is a fantastic philanthropy that's been here, probably one of the oldest around. It gives all of us something to look forward to and to use our talents towards. All of us are leaving what everyone desires, which is a legacy. Let me button my shirt up here. I want to look halfway decent, you know? Like a parrot here. Is that good?